Hey smart people, come on to my YouTube channel, Stenell the Money Therapist. Every episode that you hear, my podcast, right here, you will see me in the flesh talking about the same exact topic. See you there. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.
6 years ago, my wife took nothing but an ideal and faith and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business with multiple streams of income. As a woman possessed, she overcame all obstacles and created multiple streams of wealth that has impacted our family for generations to come. From mental health professional to therapist to author to CEO, she is a constant reminder of the grace of God over her life. Get ready to listen to and take notes from Stenell, the money therapist, as she schools you on money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. No more excuses. Wake up!
Thank you, Tony, for that introduction. Welcome back to No More Excuses, Wake Up, where we talk about money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. I am your host, Stenell Myers, also known as Stenell, the money therapist. This week, we are discussing entrepreneurship again because that's what I am and that's what I do. I want to talk to you about how to build a relationship, how to network, and how to get paid when you are starting an agency, specifically a government agency, getting a contract, some type of contract in your state with your mental health services, healthcare, whatever it is or whatever field that you are in. It is important that you network. Networking is the key part. And when I say network, I mean getting out, going into every meeting that is in your field and networking. Let me give you an example. When I had my counseling agency was through Children's System of Care, CSOC, in New Jersey. So there is a children's system of cares in every state. If that is your field, I only can speak on the field that I am. In the children's system of care, CSOC, I had a contract with them and I did in-home and community, which was behavioral supports and counseling for children that was the age 5 to 18. I work with the third party was CMO. CMO was actually the first party because I would have to build a relationship with them, and when a case come in and someone called the case in to CMO, which stands for Care Management Organization. Now, this is in the state of New Jersey. And CMO is also another name for Perform Care. And that's basically an organization that is a community-based, and they have advocacy to children and care management with families as well. I had to go in to every meeting, every county, and physically build relationships because a lot of the care managers already had relationships with agencies. And here I was, a newbie, trying to come in and build a relationship. And I mean, I bought lunch, I emailed, I built relationships with them. And then when I got one case, I will build a relationship with the individual that was assigned to the case. Then I got another case. It's all about building relationships. So if you are in counseling, you have to build relationships, whatever field you're in. I'm a therapist, social work, healthcare, whatever it is that you have to physically go out here and build the relationships. When you build relationships equal dollar signs. And dollar signs mean that you are working effectively and efficiently in the community because let's get this straight. It's not all about the money. It's not all about the dollars, but we are here because it is about the dollars as well as, more importantly, it is about helping the children or the adults or whoever that you serve. You have to conduct relationships. If you are getting a government contract and you have this contract, that field, you have to build relationships. In my field with support coordination and having an agency, and now I have 5 services, constantly building relationships because each service is a relationship with an individual. You honestly have to treat it like back in the day when your mom say, oh, make sure that you reach out to, well, I was in a household without my father, so make sure that you send your father a birthday card, or make sure that you reach out to your grandparents. It's the same thing as saying thank you. Not only sending out an email saying thank you, but physically, let's going back and sending out physical thank you cards. Vistaprint is, I know we got away from invitations and we do text messages, but it's not as professional as somebody getting a card in the mail. Mail systems still work, guys. Having stamps still work. Building that relationship, having thank you cards. I send out thank you cards to my new clients that I have, and I haven't done that in a while. And now that I'm doing this video, that I need to go back and send out thank you cards, because I'll just say welcome and thank you and sign my name. And I got away from that because I started adding on more services. But now that I'm doing this episode, it really what matters and what makes sense to take time to just tell someone, thank you for picking my agency. Thank you for building a relationship with me. Thank you. And not a text. We have to, in a professional world, in a professional field, we have to abide by all these texts. Emails are number one. They're 100% the number one way of communicating in a professional realm, but it's always good to back that email up with a thank you card. Even on my show, I have people that sent me a thank you card, or I had a person to send me a thank you card because they was grateful of the opportunity that they had on my show. Let's go back to the basics. So when you're out there building relationships, you are building that foundation, and more relationships will equal payment and getting paid. If you have all that together, now you have this foundation, and now you're getting clients, and now you can bill for these clients. How you bill for the clients is however you set up your business, and I bill through Medicaid. You want to make sure that the networking is solidified by communicating via email, solidified by communicating via thank you card, going on Vistaprints. Vistaprints is the bomb.com to me because it's so affordable. Well, I know it was then, but everything is going up. And even when I go out and network at workshops and school, for instance, in the beginning of the year, I wasn't able to fly down to New Jersey, and I asked for Jeannie and Maricela if they could go. And Jeannie she is my right hand man, and she is my assistant in everything that I do, and Maricela is the manager with a second touch. I was invited by a school, and they invited me, sent me personally an email, and because that was a relationship that I built. And now that I am actually thinking about it, when I finish this episode, I'm going to send out an email to them and just follow up. But I'm just going to follow up with a young lady and say thank you for working with me for the last 7 years. I appreciate it. And just letting her know the other services that we do. That's another way to network, because now you want to go back in your archives of people that you met back in the day when you was just when you were working for other people, when you wasn't working for yourself. You're letting people know, hey, I do this, I do that, I'm now in this field, I now have my own, and you want to stay in contact with those individuals. When I was working, I have a family that I constantly stay in contact with. I bridged them with one of my colleagues that she has an agency as well, but because we serve certain counties, and I'll do another episode with the counties that I serve, but because she served a particular county and she does a service in there, I can't do the same service to the same individual. So this individual, I've been with this family, oh my goodness, I've been knowing them for about 5 or 6 years. I now have them as support coordination, but they need community-based supports. And so I had to give that to someone that has their own business. I still build the relationship. And even when I'm doing this podcast, I'm looking at their picture. They send me a thank you card and a picture of him, and he's the same individual I always talk about that I taught 81 words. He's nonverbal, and just building that relationships. During Christmas, I send them a gift card to Wawa or whatever, $50 or, it all depends. Just let them know, thank you for constantly, thank you for your business, but thank you for allowing me to still help and assist your child after all these years. That's important to me. So building relationships, networking, because now you're building relationships and you're networking. That person will say, oh, I know someone that has a great agency. You have to go back into the basics. I don't care what anyone say. When it comes to business, communication, actually going out, stepping out in the community is key. I take a lot of my advice from real estate agents. Real estate agents are out there. They're out there in their field. They are networking. That's important because they call it cold calls, and that's what they do. And the same thing is cold calls. I get cold calls all the time in my agency, all the time in my healthcare agency, because they're trying to do? They're trying to build relationships. So I say, here's my email, send me your information, send me your pamphlet, and then I save it in my resources in my email, and in that way I can share it with my staff when the time comes and someone needs something. It is building relationships, and that's what we have to do. We have to constantly build relationships when we are working in the field with government contracts, nonprofits. Anything that we do is constantly building relationships. Even with my nonprofit, I have to constantly build relationship with schools, build relationship with principals, build relationships with superintendents. I have to constantly build that relationship. Hi, how you doing? Happy New Year's. Just constantly. When I got my job, when I was hired at Camden County College, it took 2 to 3 years for me to even land an adjunct role, because when I went out, I didn't even have an interview. When I put my resume in, I got a response that we're not hiring at the time. So every year, Merry Christmas to the young lady. Her name was Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy New, every holiday, Happy Thanksgiving, every holiday. And guess what happened? I received the email after, I think, the second or third year, and said, you always reach out. I'm just letting you know that we have an adjunct opening. Would you like to come in for an interview? I was shocked. And that's when I learned that that was the way to build relationships. I was really just saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Honestly, it was nothing. That was it. It was just, her name was Arlene, and she was just a nice lady. She would just always respond, and I would just say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Just the season to be given. I don't know. Just out of being genuine, look what happened. I was able to land that position and work for 3 years in the adjunct field, and then that landed me at Drexel University, and I was working on both together, and it was for 3 years together. And it's just, and this was before I started my agencies. It's just a blessing. I'm telling you, networking is the most important thing that you can do. Building a relationship, sending emails, saying hello. Even with my podcast and my guests, I'll send them a message, and I'll just say, hi, thinking of you, good job, like the video. Just keeping a communication open. I'm not the best communicator. I will say that when it comes to social media. That's why I hire someone to do that for me, because I don't always have the time that is needed for that. That's a whole nother beast. Social media, I'm really talking about to physically build your agencies, and how to really get out there, and how to build relationships, and have thank you cards, and think about people. And also, when I first started out, I was sending with my counseling agency and Better Me, for Christmas, I used to send fruit baskets. And one of my fruit baskets, one time the fruit came, it was rotten. I was so mad, at that company. But, just a gesture. I would send fruit baskets to everyone that I had built a relationship with. And at the time it was 4 case managers. It was 4 different agencies, because I was in all 4 counties, and I would send it to the coordinator for their staff, and just building relationships. And that's what you do. And even now that I'm thinking about it, it's August, but it's time to really get started and network about the holidays, and who I'm going to send baskets to, and getting my staff involved. I really get my staff involved when we write in letters to families, and really thinking outside the box to get staff involved, because we deal with families, and we also deal with, some of our clients do not live home. They live in a group home. So really it's making me think about networking with my staff at my healthcare agency. Even in my after school program, we we have Christmas parties and we invite the families, and we have dinner and we cook dinner. So it's just really about community. It's really about networking. It's really about getting out there. I don't want you to think for 1 second that you go after a government contract or you go after a nonprofit contract and that's it. You go after it, you serve in the scope that whatever it is in your contract, it don't stop there. You still have to build relationships with people. It's important. So I hope that I help you, and I hope that you understand that it is key to build relationships with people in your field, that it is key to understand that when you're out there networking equal getting paid, and getting paid equals doing a great service in your community. And the only way you can get paid, honestly, is to network, and network with good intentions. All right, y'all, no more excuses. Wake up. Thank you for listening to No More Excuses, Wake Up. If you love the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or Spotify. To learn more about me and my different agencies and what I do, go to StenellMyersEnterprises.com. While you're there, check out Money Therapy Institute and watch my video where you will see me doing a little acting, showing you how I fought and kicked down closed doors. You can also click on Stenell the Money Therapist and get my free budget spreadsheet. And of course, you can email me at contact@StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. I'm also on social media on Facebook at Stenell the Money Therapist and Instagram at Stenell the Money Therapist. No more excuses. Y'all know what y'all need to do. Wake up. Hey smart people, I have a 3-month one-on-one personal or business coaching program. As you all know, I paid off $50,000 in debt in 1 year. I will teach you how I stayed out of debt using my burner method and personalized spreadsheet I created to fit my lifestyle and keep me on track. You will learn how to understand your money communication style using my financial treatment plan. Also, if you own a small business and you feel stuck with cash flow or feel disorganized, I teach business owners and self-employed entrepreneurs such as yourself to financially maximize your money, build wealth using your business income, and retire working on the business while your business continues to run, such as myself. You can book a call with me. The link is in the show notes.